Welcome to New Reality Awakening, where seekers become finders and stories become transformations. Each week we open the doorway to a new vibration, sharing wisdom, healing, and awakening from the visionaries of the New Reality TV platform. We are New Reality Awakening.
Welcome to Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson, the show where we head down the road of the supernatural and beyond. So sit back and hold on as we take a ride together to what lies in the unknown and beyond the veil. And now your host, Daniel Jackson, with special guest, intuitive psychic and medium, Kelly Boyer.
Hello and welcome to Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson. Me, your host, Daniel Jackson. Today we have on our show Kelly Boyer. Kelly Boyer is an intuitive psychic and medium, and she's also from here in Arizona. Hey, Kelly, how are you today?
I am good, Daniel. How are you?
Not too shabby, as I like to say. So, psychic medium, intuitive medium. What's that mean for you?
For me, it means oftentimes when I first meet people, I get an impression or an imprint of who they are. And really what that means is who they are, who's their character, what's their soul speaking to me. As an intuitive psychic, I can pick up information, past, present, and I always say probable future because we all have free will to change the trajectory of that.
Absolutely.
And then as a medium, you know, your Uncle Earl or somebody can come forward and I'll pick up information on that or have a telepathic conversation in my head of them.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. But when you get those messages, are they actually coming through as messages, or are they coming through as just a feeling? Or you actually, do you feel as though they are telling something to you, or do you actually see like a picture of something that shows you something?
I'm going to say yes to both. It really depends on how they want to communicate with me or how they want to use my additional senses outside of my five senses.
Okay.
So sometimes they may come up and literally I'm having a conversation in my head with them and I can hear them as if I'm talking to you. It's a regular conversation.
Gotcha.
There's other times they come in and I get pictures, visions. But a lot of times when I'm going to say the privilege to see them outside, they look like, the best way I can describe it is like these energy figures. I don't always see their facial features or anything. What I'm really seeing is the waves, the frequencies that are that are kind of bobbing back and forth, I guess is the best way that I can describe it.
Yeah, like sometimes when I see them, or if I just see your general spirit, it's like when you're outside and you see the heat coming off the ground and it's kind of
yes,
moving. That's what I see.
Yes, and I see that. And speaking of being outside, one of the things I do enjoy with being outside is seeing that and knowing it's not the heat. That what I'm seeing is really spirit.
Right. How long did it take you to discern the difference between the two?
So it didn't really take me long to figure that out. Because I was told that that's what it was, and I just had a sense of knowing.
So you get messages in a way that is, like you said, it's an actual message, or you're actually getting a picture as well too. And like sometimes when I get those, it's actually like in a video form or like a cartoon.
So mine's similar to that. I describe it as like the old movies where they would flip.
Yes.
Sometimes I do see, I will see in color, but a lot of times it's in black and white.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And I feel like that's just so that I don't get caught up in the frivolous details that don't matter, that they're really highlighting what's meant to come through.
Right.
But I also get really strong feelings, which I oftentimes use my strong feelings or clairsentience as confirmations of what I'm getting.
So sometimes when they're bringing a message through for me, they will bring the feelings that they want me to feel to get a point across. Is that what you mean? Like I will do a reading for someone, and then all of a sudden they bring this feeling into me that I start crying. And when I do that, I'm saying this is how strong the message is that they want to make a point of this. They want me to feel the emotions too, so you will know how strong this is. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I do get them that way. They make me feel a lot of things, and then I'm like, you really need to know how important this is.
Yeah.
And I usually the comment that follows that is, I wish you could feel this that I'm feeling.
Yes.
But also, it's interesting because, we talk about, I call them the spirit bumps, but they're goosebumps.
Sure.
So I'll get like those types of feelings of confirmation.
Yeah.
Or I can't even describe how it feels, but if I'm giving a message and I know it's something that they really need, and
Right.
I'm hitting the nail on the head, right? Because you have to interpret a lot of times what they're saying.
Yeah.
They'll give me it's almost like they give me this kind of quick chill confirmation. And then I'm like, okay, I'm on it. I know what it is that I'm on the right track.
Yeah, and that's the weird part about, like you were saying with the bumps too. I always tell people, when you're getting goosebumps and you're hearing music and it's goosebumps, that has nothing to really do with your nervous system. That's your soul saying you're connecting with this.
Yeah,
this is a good vibration. This is something good. So when you get those goosebumps about doing something or being in the act of doing something, then that means you're doing something good.
Yeah, your soul is definitely speaking to you.
Yes, absolutely. So, and then, I also get those too. I get them in sometimes black and white because they want me to focus on what's actually happening and not what's going on in the background type of thing.
Yeah, I have a tendency too that if, like, sometimes when they come in color, I'm like, ooh, squirrel, this is pretty.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait, no, I got to focus.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I always try to do that as well. Like if they'll show me something, like one time they showed me riding my bicycle that we were talking about earlier around. And I said, but I saw other stuff going on. And I was like, I had to figure out what is the actual message they're trying to tell me, because they're not pointing it out to me. So I had to decipher it. And then see, and I was like, oh, that's me riding my bike. And then I get touched. Yeah, that's you riding your bike. That's what we want you to do. Oh, for what? And I heard health reasons. And I was like, oh, okay. So that's what I did. But even though there was other stuff going on, that's what I had to focus on. Like you said,
that was the focus. That was the thing of the picture.
Yeah, it's not always easy to do. Like you said, oh, a squirrel. Oh, well, look at a kitty cat.
Especially when you're reading for someone else and a lot of information comes forward very quickly. And you're trying to pick out what it is that's meaningful for them, what it is that they need to hear.
Right.
Sometimes I get stuck and I'm like, I don't even know what this means, but I'm going to describe what it is that I'm seeing. And then it's the oddest thing when they're like, oh yeah, it was those mountains that were way in the back. And you're like, but I'm talking about the picnic that you're sitting at as just like an example. But yeah, it's not like when a lot of it is swirling in my head, that's usually when I start saying, you know what, I just have to tell you exactly what it is that I'm seeing because I'm not sure what it is that I'm supposed to tell you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because we don't always get the clearest of messages either. Even though we're getting the message from people, we don't always get it as clear as we want it to be either. We have to learn to decipher it. And that takes, sometimes it takes a long time, but sometimes those messages come in and I'm like, man, what the hell's going on here? This is
something weird.
Yeah, something weird. Now I got to go sit and think about the whole message and try to decipher what it was.
Yeah, what is it saying?
Yeah, what are they trying to say?
I really do appreciate when they use my hearing or my clairaudience because then it's just direct.
Right.
It just comes to me direct and I'm like, oh, this is what it is. Or, or sometimes I just know that this is what it is. And those pictures get a little bit.
Yeah, they get it's like trying to watch a TV show and you're trying to focus on all 5 actors when you're trying to really supposed to focus on one.
Yes.
Yeah. So it becomes a little overwhelming sometimes.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I prefer the, when it comes in, but the only time I really get the messages in the video form or the cartoon form is when I'm going into meditation, or if sometimes I'll just be sitting around and I'll close my eyes and it's like it's already playing.
Yeah, like it had already started before you were ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that happens to you as well?
Yeah. So odd that you bring that up because recently, going into meditation, I feel like I'm psychic spying on people because they're showing up and I'm literally like right there with them watching it. And then it's all of a sudden like I'm kind of like, the best way I could say is I'm sucked out of that and I'm put into like another place. And and I've kind of been sitting there going, is this my imagination? Am I really seeing this? But then when you go somewhere and you see the people who you were psychic spying on, you're like, well, wait a minute. So I've had that's been happening to me a lot more lately. And I feel like I'm like in the middle of interrupting conversations but I'm not because they don't realize that I'm there.
So
I'm probably going to creep out people now. They're like, oh my gosh, she's going to show up in my room.
would you consider that what they call remote viewing?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Because that's been coming on for me for about a year and a half now. But like you, as I'm guessing, or not guessing, you're not in control of it. It just happens.
That's correct. And it's funny that you bring up remote viewing because I've been exploring have you ever heard of the remote viewing? Our military a long time ago used to do it.
They used to do experiments on them.
Well, they used it actually.
Do you know where they used it?
I don't know all of the details, but I was really intrigued by the fact that you could remote view. So
right down the street.
Oh, is that where it started?
Yes.
I'm not surprised.
They used to do experiments on people back in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
There. Yeah. And when Spirit told us that we were going to move out here, and then they had guided me to touch on a map where we were going to move to, and I pointed my finger and had my eyes closed, and I opened up and they said, yes, Sierra Vista.
Interesting.
What's in Sierra Vista? The largest intelligence base in the United States.
Right. Yeah.
Where they did these experiments on people. And
yeah.
so, but this remote viewing is, again, so I didn't know where it was coming from. And I asked them, maybe this will help you. One of your abilities that you're able to do, this came along with it. So like when you get a new channel on your cable and then other channels come with it, you get extra channels?
Yes.
That's what you got.
That's awesome to know.
But it's up to you to decide if you want to further it. You're given it, so now you can try to further it if you want to. You can, but
I mean, the way that I see it is anything that I'm given is really a gift and that I have a responsibility to do something with it.
Right.
So for me, like you were saying, it's right now it's not something that I can control. So now my goal is to control it.
Right.
Right. Because I don't want to be a creeper on people. But
do you think it's? You're always coming around other people, or like I've been in places that all of a sudden, like I was sitting in my room meditating, and then next thing you know, it's your consciousness is somewhere else, is what is going on, and then you're seeing the things that are going on around you. And I was actually I was outside of my own home, watching cars going by, saw my truck, her car, saw the kids down the street playing, and then I saw a car go by. And as I was watching the car go by, sitting in my room, I could hear the car go by. So that's how I knew that's what was going on. But sometimes they'll show me a picture, and it's like I'm at somebody's house and they are watching TV. And I don't know if I'm actually seeing it through their eyes or my consciousness is just there in the same place. And they're always watching cartoons or something. I'm like, why am I here watching cartoons in somebody's house? So, yeah, trying to decipher it. That's a little bit harder to decipher, don't you think?
I do think so.
Why is it going on?
Yeah. That's when a lot of times when I come out of meditation, I'm like, why did this just happen? So I have a tendency to sit there and really question, like, why is this happening? Like, why was I there? What is my purpose of what I need to do? And then when I ask Spirit, all I hear is, because you needed to be there. And I'm like, okay, well, then I'm going to trust that that's what it is.
Right.
But then as it continues to unfold, I'm like, okay, I'm learning something.
Yeah.
There's something I'm supposed to do with this.
Do you ever feel like you're not learning anything?
No, I feel like I'm always a student.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's always something and I'm supposed to learn from it. And then again, it's like, I feel like it's my duty to do something with it.
And now that thing that you're learning is now coming a part of your Rolodex. Things that you can do now.
Yeah. It's kind of, it's hanging out there in my toolbox.
Yeah. And I don't always use them when I'm doing readings for people, but it is something that I can do. Mm-hmm. And if I feel that I need to do it, then I know I can just pull from the toolbox and I'm ready to go.
So I think that and I know that I should ask, but I haven't yet, some stuff that, like just this week, I've had a lot of stuff unfolding for me, like a lot of really good stuff. One of the things is, and I'll tie this back into like the remote viewing, is I just recently passed my test to become a volunteer for the Find Me group. Have you ever heard of that?
No, what is it? Tell us, explain it.
So the Find Me group it actually started by a former law enforcement officer who used a psychic to help in an investigation that he wasn't able to crack.
Sure.
And the psychic gave him exactly the information that he needed. So he decided to take that a bit further and use it in helping families and working with law enforcement to find missing people.
Right.
And I've always been very attracted to just wanting to help to find people, whether they're alive or they're dead. But I feel like there's a sense of peace that comes in knowing what's happened. So I decided I was going to try to become a volunteer. So I just passed my test to become a volunteer. Well, I realized that the remote viewing is something that's really important in that.
Sure. What kind of test is it? I mean, does somebody walk in the room and sit down and go, all right, Kelly, what am I thinking?
No, what it was is I was actually given pictures from former cases. All it was a picture and a first name.
And they wanted to see what kind of...
Yeah, and they're like, well, what's the information? There were some questions that I had asked, like, is this person still alive or is he deceased? How did they die? And then, that's the first time I've ever actually just stared at a picture with like a first name. But I was like, you know what? I really believe that if this is what I'm supposed to do, Spirit will drive me to do it,
Yeah.
and the information that comes will be correct. So I did pretty well. I'm not gonna lie, my nerves did get the best of me because you hear the word like test and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta pass. But yeah, so now I'm gonna be volunteering, and so a few times a month I'll get a few cases that I'll work on, and hopefully my information will bring some peace to people.
Are they, in a safety way, are they going to, when they give you the information and they get all this information for you, so people have asked me if I wanted to do that.
Mhm.
And I said no. And they asked me why. You could help a lot of people. I said I could, but if someone goes to court and then they find out that I was the one that helped them, the bad guy's going to come after me, not you, me. So I'm putting myself at risk there. And I could be helping a lot more other people, not having to put myself at risk. So are they going to keep you, well, we got some information from a psychic,
Yes.
but not name the psychic?
Yeah, so it's anonymous. And really how it works is that, I turn in my information, and there's other intuitives that work for that. So there may be a bunch of us working on the same case.
Right.
And they're going to compile all of that information.
Because each person has their specialty, that what they can get information for.
Exactly, yes. So I can tell you, I don't feel like my life would be at risk. I don't feel that Spirit would put me in a place or a position that's going to put me at risk. So I don't know. I feel very comfortable about it and confident in it, and I feel really grateful that I put it out there. Well, I'm going to say Spirit put it in my lap, and then and then it all unfolded how it's supposed to.
Because
So
they're bringing you this information because this is what they want you to do.
Mhm.
They want you to be a part of this, and that's why you feel as though you need to be a part of it, because that's them telling you you need to be a part of this.
yeah.
And you can help a lot of other people, and hopefully, like I've done that before, where I talked to a woman. One of the big reasons I stopped doing it is because I talked to a woman. She wanted to know some information, and then after I gave her the information, the only thing she wanted at that point was revenge. And she was going to go to this guy's house, and she was going to stalk him and do all this. I said, "You're going to do that and put yourself in prison. I don't care much. He killed my daughter, so I'm going to do what I need to do to
Yeah.
him." And I was like, "Oh man!" So at that point, I said, "You know what? I'm not going to do this anymore because you, again, like we talked about, you don't know what people are going to do with their free will.
Exactly.
You give them the information. You hope and pray that they are going to do the right thing, but you never know."
And I've been put in those situations too, where they're like, "Hey, can you help me with this information?" And first, I check to see if it's information that's for them or if they're trying to be nosy about someone else. And if I get no, they're nosy about someone else, it's literally like Spirit will cut it off, and I'll tell them, no, I always call it psychic spying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not psychic spying on someone else because this has nothing to do with you.
Right, because they're going to help you for the greater good and not for just inquiring minds.
Exactly, because people are nosy. They want to know, well, what's going on with my neighbor's house? Well, I'm not going to tell you that. It's not any of your business.
Right, because in the world right now, we have money problems, we have famine, we have war problems and all that stuff, but everybody else is concerned what happens to Johnny Depp.
Right? Exactly.
Right. No.
So I feel like I'm very fortunate because even if it is something that is connected to that person, the first question I'm always asking, is this going to be for their highest good? If I get a no, I tell them, no, I'm sorry, I can't help you.
Good for you.
If I get a yes, then I know that I can proceed. But I do it very cautiously because, and I feel like that's very spirit driven, that I'm only going to get what they need.
Right.
And that's what I ask for, because I may be flooded with the whole story and I would never want to say too much. So I only ask, is it for their highest good? Please only give me the information that they need.
Right.
And so I feel like when I ask that, Spirit is really knowing what's in their heart of what they're going to do.
And it's going to connect with that part that they need.
Yeah.
None of the other crap that comes along.
Exactly. So if somebody just comes up and they're like, Johnny's over here, or like, something happened to Johnny and I need to know. And even if they're connected and I get, no, they're going to do something bad with it, I just tell them, sorry, no, I tell them, Spirit's cut me off. I can't read for you.
Yeah, and that's your way of cutting it off, so you don't have to. At that point, you're cut off, so now you don't have to explain why they're cutting it off.
Exactly.
Yeah. I did a live reading one time, and a girl came through, and she asked me a question. She wanted to know if her brother had been murdered or not. And I asked them. I said, "Is this okay to tell her?" And they said, "Yeah." And I said, "Should I tell her everything though?" And they said, "Yeah, because it's going to make a point for everybody." And I said, "Okay." And I said, "Yeah, your brother was murdered. They made it look like a suicide, but he was actually murdered." And she said, "Yeah, I think they made it look like a suicide." And I said, "Well, how did he die?" And she said, "Oh, he was found on some railroad tracks, cut in half." And I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Yeah." I said, "But there's a reason why your brother was murdered." And she said, "Why?" And I said, "Because your brother's a piece of shit." I said, "Your brother was someone who did what he wanted to do. Your brother was into drugs and into drug dealing." And I never asked her that. And then she didn't pay attention to the comment section. I said, "But your brother was dealing with some people who were horrible people," which was, your brother was a horrible person, as he wasn't liked by anybody, but he was horrible. And then because he was with this crowd of people, a bad drug deal went down and they murdered him for it. And I said, "So if I'm correct, I want you to put in the comment section, you are correct, Daniel." And as I went into the comment section, everything I was saying, she kept saying, "You're correct, Daniel. You're correct, Daniel. You're correct." I said, "Yeah." So, finding out the information, if it's going to put some peace of mind to you, great. And that's all fine and dandy. But if you're finding out information because you want to go out and do something horrible after that, then no, this is not a good idea.
Yeah. Not a good intention put behind that, right?
Yeah. So you want to tell them, hopefully, just the part that is going to help them. But they wanted me to tell them this whole thing. So to let them know that, your brother was not a good person. So why do you really need this information? If you know that he was doing some bad things, it's still not going to bring any helpfulness to your heart, because you already know your brother's a piece of crap. That's why. So, but she needed to hear the truth so she could stop asking the questions, because apparently she told me she went to a bunch of different mediums and no one could give her an answer.
Oh,
and that was a shame. But I want to ask you a question, because I had this happen to me a couple times, where I had someone come to ask me questions. A woman came to ask me some questions, and then when I gave her the answer, she said to me, "Oh yeah, that's what the other 3 mediums just told me."
Oh yes, I've had that happen. And the way even though it's frustrating when you hear that, and I use the term frustrating lightly because it's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
I just kind of have to walk away and be like, you know what? This isn't about me. This was about her. And she's probably going to go to 5 other mediums asking the exact same questions. And you know what? I did what I gave the right answer. I did what was right. And I'm just going to let that dog lay.
Yeah.
The lion dog just lay there.
Yeah. That one lady, she asked me some questions and then asked me about a previous reading I did with her. I couldn't remember, but when she said one thing, I said, "Oh yeah, you're trying to open a business here in town." I remember all that stuff. And I said, "How'd that go?" And I told her not to open it. And she said, "Oh, but I opened it." I said, "Yeah, well, how'd that go?" Because I told her how it was going to end. And she said, "Yeah, it ended like you said." And I said, "Yeah. And now I owe somebody like 10 grand. And I was like, "Oh my goodness." I said, "So you didn't listen to me then. Are you going to listen to me now?" And then that's when she came out with the other 3 mediums told me the same thing. And I worked it through mine thinking, I still gave her the answers, but the issue is she's just someone who doesn't like the truth, or she's trying to find her own truth. and she keeps searching for it. No matter what, she's still going to get just the truth, So,
Right.
because they want a quality answer that's going to come to them, but they're hoping for a different answer.
Yeah.
But when you get the truth, when you get validation, what else are you really?
I was gonna say there's no other way to go. Like that's just what it is.
Right.
Yeah, I've had that happen, and I'm just kind of like, okay, next.
Do you have do you draw a line of somewhere of people you will or will not do reads for? Like, I will not do a reading for anyone who's under the age of 18 because most of them, their children, they don't understand these things.
So I'm going to say yes. And I would be lying if I said I didn't recently do a reading for someone. He's 17, he's getting ready to graduate high school. And you just see the agony on his face of just needing to know which direction, the hard things in life. What school do I need to go to? Right. But normally, no, I don't. I don't do readings for anybody under the age of 18 because the truth of the matter is their life around, like at that time, is going to be drastically changing and moving into different directions. And they need, I just heard they need to find their way first.
Yeah, they do.
They're
so indecisive.
Yeah. So
even if you tell them something, they're still going to be indecisive about it.
Exactly. So I'm going to say, no, I don't normally do it. And really, I did it as a favor because I could just feel this. I could feel this kid. He just wanted to pick the right school. And,
Cool.
he had, I could feel and see where his focus was. It was just like, well, which direction? Like, which way do I get to that focus?
Right. Because what is the right school? Somebody else's idea of a right school and his idea of a right school are two different things.
Exactly.
So what's he going for? Oh, because there's a lot more pretty girls there and they do a lot more partying, or I'm actually going to go here and learn something.
Yeah. And he was very goal driven.
Yeah.
So I did do that for him. So here's my question to you, if you don't mind.
I love questions.
Since we're talking about kids, because recently what I've been having going on is that I will be doing readings for moms. And they're like, "Can you tell me about my kid? Like, what's going on with my kids?" And I get it. They want to know and they want to make sure that they're taken care of.
Yeah.
But I did have a reading where somebody came up and they're like, they scheduled it. I was thinking it was for them, but really she just wanted to ask questions about all of her kids. So basically she wanted me to do a reading for all of her children. And I am not going to lie, I did it. But then afterwards I was kind of thinking, I don't know. I don't think that I would do that again.
Yeah, people, when they come to me, they ask me a lot of stuff about themselves, but then they do drag their family members into it. Why is my son doing this?
Yeah.
My daughter doing that? Should I be concerned with this? And I do tell them the information, but I also tell them at the same time, they're just kids.
Right.
Kids do dumb shit. Why? Because they're kids, because they haven't learned how to do the correct thing.
Exactly. No impulse control.
But their idea of an emergency is a different idea of an emergency for us.
Mm-hmm.
Their idea of an emergency is because he got a text message from a girl that she likes him, and that's an emergency. He better go do that right away.
Right.
But when they ask me different questions about certain things, I will try to guide them. But I also tell them, you can give your children guidance, but they have to learn their lives. They have to learn their lessons and build their own purpose. We've had prior talks before. We type to each other all the time. Never really talked to each other until today.
Yeah.
But told her some things, and she's told me some things. But yeah, your life is all yours now, and
Awesome.
You have a boatload of people around you who are. Not people, them, who are protecting you all the time.
Awesome.
Like you and me, we could both walk into the scariest haunted house and nothing will happen to you ever, because we are protected. Why? Because we are the ones who are actually helping people. We're not out there being a circus act.
I think, truth be told, I don't know any other way to be. Wouldn't even know how to be that way.
No, because it's instilled in you, because that's what your soul is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You are able to cut out the bullshit and go, nah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, that's not right.
No. So awesome. It was great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
This is going to be awesome. And I hope people listen to this. I hope if you do need my kind of help, you come find me. If you need some other kind of help, you go find Kelly. There's other people out there to go. You don't always have to go to one, but I do stress the fact that when you're going to go out there and see someone, make sure that you go out there and do your homework and make sure you're going to the right one. Make sure the person that you're trying to contact, you want to get answers for, resonates with you, and you trust this person to get you the answers that you need. Even if you're in the middle of a reading and you're not feeling it and you just feel like they're throwing you a bunch of bullshit, get up and walk away.
Yes.
I know it cost you some money, but you know what? Again, that was a lesson you needed to learn to maybe next time I do this, I need to find out some more information.
Yeah.
So we ourselves want to get you the best information, but not everybody out there who does this for the best intentions. Sometimes they're just trying to get into your pockets as much as they can. And that's a shameful thing, but we can't be in control of that, but we're here to tell you to look out for that. That's all. Correct?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. Do your homework and just find the person that's best for you. So I hope everyone has a great day. And thank you for being here on the Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson and me. And as I tell everyone, be good and don't do any stupid shit. And bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson.